The vice president headed to Milwaukee today for the first battleground stop of her presidential campaign. She posted on X last night, quote, "Over the next few months, I'll be traveling across the country, talking to Americans about everything on the line. I fully intend to unite our party and our nation and defeat Donald Trump." But in an awkward exchange, she urged a crowd at the White House to applaud the man she's replacing at the top of the ticket. Watch.
Joe Biden's legacy of accomplishment over the past 3 years is unmatched in modern history. In one term, he has already, yes, you may clap.
You may clap, you may laugh. Janelle King is the co-chair of Let's Win for America Action, and she joins me now. Janelle, big picture, that was really fast, wasn't it? What do you make of the speed by which Democrats and the mainstream media have coronated Kamala Harris?
Well, it's interesting because I feel like it's made to look like it happened quickly, but nothing really happens quickly in politics. And we all know that, being behind the scenes. This is something that they've discussed, obviously, for months and weeks. And I think that we are seeing the tail end of that. At first, I walked into this thinking that maybe Kamala would not be the nominee, that she would not come out of the convention. But I have some other ideas as to why they may be utilizing her and why she may be the nominee. But I think it puts us in a peculiar position as Republicans, but we can absolutely beat her.
Okay, well, what are those ideas you have? Now I'm curious, Janelle.
Yeah. So at first I thought that they were going to swap her out. But now that I'm looking at it, I think that she brings something to the table that's kind of unique. She's someone who is already in the administration. She has the young voters that are really looking at her, particularly those voters that are Taylor Swift fans, which I find to be interesting that Taylor Swift, her concert is coming back to America right around October, November-ish. So that's something to pay attention to. She also has a lot of new donors, which I wonder if they are President Biden's former, donors, people who supported him but did not support her originally, or if they are younger voters. So there's a path for her. And I want us as Republicans to make sure that we stay vigilant, that we do not underestimate her, and we do not underestimate the power she has to pull together the Democrat base.
Yeah, I would just add, what if the awkwardness that we saw in that clip just now, and we've seen for, the last 3.5 years, doesn't go away in the lead up to the Democratic convention? I wonder if that's an opportunity, if she doesn't do well these next couple of weeks, to replace her, but we will see. There's a lot of time between now and then. Before we let you go, got to get your thoughts on this. Democrats reportedly threatening to forcibly remove President Biden from office if he refused to drop out. The New York Post reporting, quote, "The well-orchestrated palace coup to stop the faltering president seeking re-election has been in place for weeks," to your earlier point, Janelle, but stubborn Biden fought against it every step of the way. A source close to the Biden family told the Post on Monday. Part of the elaborate strategy to remove Biden from the race was allowing him to debate Republican candidate Donald Trump last month on live TV in Atlanta. We all know that went horribly for President Biden. But as if we needed further proof that the Democrats and the Democrat machine will stop at absolutely nothing, democracy and votes be damned, to beat Donald Trump and to retain power. Your thoughts, Janelle?
Yeah, you know what? I think this is the unique opportunity we have as Republicans. What I don't want us to do is focus on the stuff that doesn't matter. I want us to focus on the things that's going to continue to widen that wedge that's already built within the Democrat Party. The fact that they claim that Trump is constantly lying, he's such a liar, and this is why you can't support him. Well, this is where President Trump needs to say, well, who's really lying here? Because the Democrat Party lied to the Democrat base over and over and over again, saying that Biden was okay when we all could see that he wasn't. They hijacked the primary and completely stole it from Dean Phillips and anyone else who attempted to try to come up against Biden. There's so many other things. Like, for instance, they talk about how the MAGA base, how they dislike the MAGA base, how they feel like they have too much power, but at least they have a voice. The Democrat Party does not give their base a voice at all. They tell them what they're going to do and who they're going to support. I think we as Republicans have to continue to point out that divide. We have to point out the fact that they are continuing to give empty promises to their base that they do not fulfill. And Kamala's leading with all of that as well. The fact that she talks about affordable housing, but who can afford it? How can we afford this as a country when we're looking at a possible recession and falling to inflation? So there are questions that we need to ask, and we need to probe her platform in order to highlight the fact that they can't be trusted. And I think that is what's going to continue to pull their base apart.
And we also need to probe, who are these unelected Democrat operatives who are always pulling the strings, whether it comes to Kamala, whether it comes to per this article, kicking Joe Biden out. It really does beg the question, this isn't America. We vote for people. They rule us, lead us, shouldn't say rule. I mean, you can't have these unelected operatives doing this. Janelle King, thank you. Appreciate your time.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.